Welcome back to another edition of Modern Dallas TV. I'm Jeff Levine with moderndallas.net. This week in the real estate side, we visit a recently completed home in the Preston Hollow area. We speak with Eleanor Heartney, the juror for the biannual show at the MADI Museum of Geometric Art, and stop by a cool space, Loftwall. Stay around for the calendar updates, art scene and open houses, and enjoy the show. Experience LED at Lights Fantastic Pro, our sponsor on Modern Dallas TV. Lighting is changing at warp speed, and there's definitely an LED revolution going on. You'll see a curated selection of some of the coolest new LED fixtures from some of the best brands around the world. Visit their 12,000 square foot showroom minutes from the new Nebraska Furniture Mart in Louisville off the Sam Rayburn Tollway. Come see for yourself how lighting can enhance and change your next project. Modern Dallas Real Estate is here in Preston Hollow at 4545 San Gabriel, just off of Welsh. I'm here with Jill Long from Beth Elman and Associates. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about this house and what was the vision for the house as well as the builder.
Okay, the builder his name is John Huffman. His company name is Integrity Ventures. He builds mainly contemporary homes in this Preston Hollow area. He lives in the area as well, lives in a contemporary home himself. This house particularly is a half-acre lot, and he specifically built around these beautiful live oak trees. He wanted to make the home blend in with all the trees in this gorgeous lot. It is a 150 square foot house, 5 bedroom, 5 full baths, 2 half baths. It has 4 living areas, a 3-car garage. It's wired for electric car, which is kind of cool. It has a huge yard, like I said, with beautiful trees, plenty of room for pool. Inside, he built a beautiful, clean-lined contemporary home with beautiful features like the 3/4-inch white oak floors. He built everything with 12-foot ceilings downstairs, gorgeous lighting, very high-tech, very high energy efficiency home as well, with fully encapsulated with foam insulation. Anyway, it's just gorgeous.
And tell us about the neighborhood.
The neighborhood is amazing. This is one of the few areas of Dallas where you can still get half-acre lots. So it's a very popular neighborhood right now with builders as well as people who want the older homes and remodeling. There's lots of the major private schools are right close to this area, as well as the public school, W.T. White. But we've got Hockaday and Jesuit and Ursuline and ESD and Good Shepherd and all these schools that are very close. So it's a very popular neighborhood with families as well as professionals who want easy access to downtown. The tollway is very close. You can go north or south on the tollway from Royal, which is very close.
Excellent. The home is listed at $2,395,000. It's on the alibeth.com. Contact Jill Long if you have any questions, or go to moderndallas.net and see the listing on our website. Modern Dallas Art is here at the MADI Museum of Geometric and MADI Art. We're here with Eleanor Heartney, who's the juror of the 2015 biennial, The Origins in Geometry. Eleanor, what is geometric art?
Well, in a way, that's really the question that this show is asking. Its name is Origins in Geometry. So a lot of the work here isn't sort of strictly geometric in the sense of the kind of work that the MADI is really designed to show. But in fact, it shows the way in which geometry kind of underlies so many different tendencies in contemporary art. And in putting the show together, I wanted to keep that in mind. So I really wanted to show that, that you'll see a range of media, but also I think a range of approaches. Some of them coming very close to kind of representational, some of them kind of very minimal, some of them very maximal, but in a very complex way.
Some of the standouts, obviously, is this piece by Dallas artist Jeff Robinson. What does this piece signify, and how did you look at this and say, this is a great one for the show?
Well, it's interesting because I didn't realize how large the piece is. I was, of course, working from digital images, but I think it actually really holds the space in an amazing way at this scale. Several things interested me. One of them, of course, is the way that it's geometric both in terms of the actual forms, its physical form, but then also this kind of incredibly beautiful inlay. It sort of gives the surface a different kind of sort of geometric gloss also. And as I was saying before, that one of the kind of ways in which geometric art has manifested itself is in a very kind of minimal, simple, reductive way. And of course, this piece is not that at all. This is a very maximal piece. So part of what it's doing is using geometry, but to talk about, kind of all these sort of different perspectives, and there's a lot of illusion. If you come close in, you begin to see how, the way in which these planes have been created here, that you begin to get a sense of things, of space coming in, coming out. And then there's also these sort of strings here of circles, which begin to think about, things like the atom or cell structure. So there's almost a kind of scientific quality to it as well. And it in a way, it's kind of macro and micro at the same time, which is why maybe I didn't realize it was such a large piece, but I think it works very well.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely a substantive piece for the show.
Yes, yeah. No, it holds the space in an amazing way, and it's a work that kind of really rewards close look. It's from the distance, it's very interesting, but the closer you come, the more things you begin to see.
So since this is based in Dallas, and we have quite a few Dallas artists, this is one of the other pieces that's part of the jury show. This is with Ricardo Paniagua. What do you see in this, and is this indicative of what geometric art is?
Well, in a way, this is maybe more typical of what we think of when we think of geometric art, and I think this is also the kind of work that really this museum was founded to kind of highlight, because the MADI Museum, the MADI movement is very much about kind of perception, altering perceptions, and this work, which of course is not part of that movement, but sort of partakes of that same aesthetic, and it's just so active and alive, and when you come close to it, I mean it's sort of dazzling, and even though it's a flat canvas, just painted with flat colors, it starts to move. It does things to your eye. And I think that's one of the things about geometric art. It's one of the directions that geometric art has historically taken, is to just alter your sense of perception, your sense of space, and your sense of time.
This is a wonderful show. I mean, geometric art, I don't know how many people are actually familiar with with this movement, the MADI movement. The show is here currently. It opens this evening, July 10th. There are prizes that will be awarded. Mm-hmm. We don't know the answers yet, no, but we'll find out later. The show goes on through August the 6th, and stop by the Museum of MADI Art. Modern Dallas Cool Spaces is here at Loftwall. I'm here with Steve Kinder of Loftwall. Steve, it's been a hell of a journey. I mean, I remember when you started out back in 08 or 09.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you came about this idea and look where it's come to.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, it's been a great journey over the last 5 or 6 years. And when we first met, I had another company, and that I still have today. We were doing events and spaces. And what kind of evolved out of that was our clients were asking for some partitions and screens for their own spaces, where they lived or where they worked. And so the product was kind of born out of the need of people here in Dallas who were coming to me and saying, we have this space in Deep Ellum, or we're down over on Lamar, and we've got this open workspace, and we don't really, we can't find furniture. Can you help us build something? And that's really how the product was born. Fast forward to today, we've had tremendous success. We manufacture here in Dallas. We sell across the U.S. and Canada through office furniture dealers, some online, and independent representatives. So the last few years, we've been developing new product and getting inspired by a lot of the things we see in architecture and design. That's helped us kind of grow the product, grow the brand, and find unique opportunities.
So this is Wave.
Yes.
And this is, I think it's been around for a couple of years.
A couple of years, yeah. We introduced it in 2013.
It's a great concept.
Thank you.
And I love the track, as well as it's available as a freestanding. Where's the inspiration come from?
Yeah, well, my background is a product designer and kind of in doing interiors and environments for events really has exposed me to a lot of great aesthetics. You know, I look at a lot of architecture in Europe. I look at a lot of things going on in the U.S. with design and interiors and hospitality interiors and corporate interiors and retail interiors and home interiors. And so I get really inspired by a lot of the things I see. And I think as a designer, I kind of take that stuff in and kind of and then, you know, it kind of coalesces in my mind and comes out into a product or an inspiration to create kind of a unique product for our that we can bring to market. So, yeah.
So Steve, obviously you had the Wave, you've had the Web, we've
Yes.
got Flex now.
We got Flex now, yep.
And Flex is pretty unique in its design and creativity. Love the color scheme.
Yes.
Very Dallas.
It is.
Mavericks, Cowboys. Just to name a few, you know, sports teams that may use these colors. But what's inspiration for, you know, creating something like this?
Sure. Well, for a few years, we've had designers come to us with a couple questions or people saying, you know, do you have something that's curved? Do you have something that I can curve and I can change? And then also something that has an acoustical value. So can it absorb sound? Can it help dampen sound in a lot of these open spaces? And so there wasn't a product on the market that we felt really met this need. And so I designed Flex to do that. And I was really inspired by, I don't know if you remember in the 1970s furniture and 80s, they had this stuff called timbre. Basically, they would laminate wood slats to canvas and you can move it, right? Well, it got really heavy. So there's been some products like the I'm sure you're familiar with the Eames molded plywood screen. That was a big product that I loved in college. I actually studied that product and fell in love with it. And I think that's kind of where my initial infatuation with privacy screens kind of evolved out of that product. But that was a little bit of an inspiration. So fast forward ahead, you know, 20 years since design school, and with the way modern technology and manufacturing is, I had come across a company that molded foam panels about 10 years ago. And they'd been using a consumer product, and so I approached them about thinking about how can we create a large panel that has a timbre-like flexible membrane, but also be very lightweight, so it's easy to move, it's easy to assemble, it's very lightweight, it's very forgiving, it's very soft to the touch. So that's kind of where the product, was born out of. So.
It's amazing, the flexibility, the opportunity to use it in so many applications. Where do you think it would get used the most?
Well, right now, I mean, we're seeing a lot of interest in office and commercial, small offices, collaborative spaces like co-work spaces, or just anywhere where there's a lounge environment where you want to have, where the dynamic of the space needs to change, where people may meet, but they may need to take a phone call or they may need to have some more privacy. So because it's lightweight and a lot easier to move, it gives it very flexible by design. So.
This is an amazing collection. The options are endless, the finishes, the opportunities to create, you know, for your work, for your home. Steve, it's been a pleasure spending time with you. This is a great space and a great product.
Thank you.
You can check it out at loftwall.com. See you later. To wrap up this week on Modern Dallas TV, on the art scene, most of the galleries have shows running through August. Check out our webpage, moderndallas.net, the art scene, and get all the details and shows that are current. On the calendar, Preservation Dallas has their final Summer Sizzler, Who Tagged the Alamo, at 6 p.m. If you're looking for an open house this Sunday, there's plenty available on Modern Dallas. Featured one is 4545 San Gabriel. It's our feature home on the week on the TV show. And if you're in the market for a modern, mid-century modern contemporary home, high-rise or loft, we simply have the finest moderns in Dallas. And for this week, it's a wrap. See you later.